this morning once again for being able to come before you.
Amen.
We started a lesson a long time ago entitled, You Are God's Joy Factor. The more I look into this, the more I understand how important you are in the mind of God. I think that when we get to the point of understanding who we are, what we're doing, and who He is, we'll discover that no weapons truly that are formed against us can prosper. I think that many of us suffer because we do not know who we are, and above all, we don't know whose we are. When we come to the place of understanding that Jesus is Lord, and the word Lord meaning that He's our ultimate owner, and understanding in our hearts and in our minds should be that no matter what comes against me, because He is my owner, I am protected. We should have the thoughts in our mind that if He's the creator of everything, and everything that you see abides in Him and dwell in Him, that we can stand strongly and steadfastly, fervently in Him, knowing that we are delivered already. Why? Because He sees the end of our lives before the beginning.
Yeah.
There is nothing that is going on in your life right now that surprises God.
Amen.
The key issue of it all is that whatever is happening to you right now has already been answered.
Amen.
Whatever is happening to you right now has been finished.
Amen.
That making sense to you?
Yeah.
That means no matter what the circumstance and situation you're in right now, you already made it through.
Amen. That's right.
Every day of your life has been written in the book, in God's book,
Yes.
before you can begin to live any one of them. In those days are times and seasons and cycles, all controlled by God.
Amen. Yes.
In the midst of it, He encouraged you that along this journey are many afflictions, many changes, many things that you don't understand, but here's the deal. I deliver you out of them all.
Oh, yeah.
So no matter what you are in, at the time and season, is for Him to show up at His deliverance.
Amen.
In the midst of a deliverance comes a relationship. Why? Because if I care for you, each time I get in trouble and you show the reality of who you are and give me all of who you are, I appreciate you more. And I have an expectation of seeing you.
Amen.
And so no matter what the difficulty is, I realize I'm already delivered. Because you're going to show up anyway. Somehow you always know it and then you show up.
Amen.
What we got to understand is God already finished you before you started.
Yes. Yeah.
I think we have a problem with understanding that. Another thing that messes up is what I'm going to minister on today is that you are the beginning of God's ending.
Amen.
You begun when God ended. When God ended, He did everything for you that you needed and gave you everything that you wanted. And every thought that is in your mind, He's already taken care of it. And no matter what the circumstance and situation you are in, He's delivered you from it.
Amen. Thank you. Hallelujah. Thank you.
Now, it's understood that if God has already spoken it, so shall it be. It's understood that there is nothing greater than He, and because He knows your need before you ask it, He sent it. So whatever situation you are in, where a need exists, is on its way to get there. It's called faith that makes you wait. It's this thing that calls endurance, and he who endure until the end shall inherit these things. And so you've got to make it through, and you can stand and you understood. It has already been sent. You can stand and you understood in your mind. And hear me say understood, not understand. It's not a thing that's active right now. It's a thing that's in the past. I understood. I've already won. So no matter what the present may say, I understood that the past has already dictated. No matter what the situation may look like, it has been concluded. It will come to an end, and it came to pass. You understand what I'm saying? You are the beginning of God's end. You have been completed because He has been completed. You've been started because He completed.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus. Glory, hallelujah, hallelujah.
If you understand how God works, family,
Thank you.
I am telling you, it's amazing how comfortable life would be. When you begin to understand how God functions, here's what you're going to start thinking about. No longer will you think about things.
That's right.
You start thinking about, did I do what God wanted me to do today?
Yes.
Is God pleased with my action? Am I right in the mind of God? What am I missing that I should not miss? You start thinking heavenly things. And why the Bible declares, if you're from the heaven, you think on heavenly things. If you're earth, you think on earthly things. That's when you are catering to the flesh. It's the flesh that worries about the things of yesterday and tomorrow. It's the flesh that worries about things they don't have right now. It's the spirit that declared, it is finished.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Oh, God.
Glory.
You
Hallelujah.
are the beginning of God's ending, and you are the drawing factor of God. The God of the universe says, I love you. I've given you all things pertaining to life and godliness. I left nothing out for you. And when the enemy coming like a flood, I will lift a standard against him. You are mine that hold you in my hands. I sustain you when all others turn against you. I village you. Stand strong, child. I call you by your name. You are mine.
Yes.
You stand strongly in the midst of all this trying times. You stand strongly in the midst of all this hardship, because the God of all glory, the God of all might, the God of authority, the God of all power is your God. And he says, as I am, so are you.
Yes, Lord God. Thank you, God. Amen.
And you learn to stand
Thank you, Jesus.
in the midst of hardship, remembering
Yes.
you are the beginning of God's ending. I don't know if you understand that.
Amen.
I don't know if you understand that. The God of all glory, who knows the end, who also knows the beginning, and knows the difference of both, who has everything in his hand in full control, who completes, because God is a finisher. He never starts something that is not completed. Even a thought becomes an idea, and an idea becomes reality, and from the reality comes life, and then it's concluded that God of all glory can do all things. And because he is with you and he's standing by your side, he declared that he will never leave you or forsake you, that even when the enemy coming like a flood, I am there. He says, I'm standing boldly by your side. Declare a thing and I shall make it come to pass. I've laid in you my all power called the Holy Spirit. His purpose, his plan, the reason for being is to stand by your side and lead you into the depths of truth. And because he is with you, you can stand firmly declaring, for God I live, for God I die. For you see, no one and nothing can take you away from the earth until the seasons and times that have written in my book begin to show up for your life. So you stand strongly, you stand boldly, you stand declaring, I am the beginning of God's ending. God has already completed everything that I need. And then he called me into existence to live what he's completed. I cannot fail. I am more than a conqueror. I am a world overcomer, because the greater one is abiding in me. And you stand strong and watch and see the salvation of God with you.
Yes. Thank you.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Oh,
Glory.
if you can only understand who you are.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Our Creator looked down from the heavens into the bowels of the confused earth, and he created that. He created for his pleasantries. He created for his satisfaction. Something had gone wrong, and chaos was over the earth.
Amen.
Something went wrong. The Bible declared that the earth was empty, formless. It was cloaked in darkness, and the Spirit of the Lord hovered over its surface. What happened? Where did the joy go? Where did everything disappear? How did this happen? Many times we're walking in our lives and things seem to be going so well. You know, life is like that. I always encourage you to find out my lifespan. I don't know how long I'm going to live, but my lifespan moves in 5-year changes. Every 5th year, there's a shift. In the midst of the shift, some of the 5 years are years like Years of abundance where everything just flows. You know, you wish a thing. And God doesn't work on wish. A wish is the desire that God has planted there. So because you walk so faithfully before the wish, which becomes a desire, in the midst of that desire that God has planted there, and you walking in his ways, he began to release in you, for you, the best of everything that satisfies your heart. Now, when you understand the span of your life, you understand that things begin to flow like this. And so within the 5-year span of my life, I can walk with an expectation, with a knowing that no matter what it looks like, I have more than enough of what I need. And so therefore, I walk in absolute faith. You know, when you walk with everything in you and everything is working right, there ain't no problem walking in faith. Faith is a problem in you need it, and you don't see around you the things that are happening. It's when faith now becomes a problem, because you're no longer trusting in God, you're trusting in yourself. That's where the problem is, because faith is trusting God. So my life, it moved in 5-year spans, and then it began to shift. It's a 5-year of pleasantries. There's a 5-year of trials and trials. When you've got to believe God, and then you got sometimes in the 5th year of the hard times, you don't even want to read your word. You know, I'm not talking to you because you raised it and you made it there. I'm talking about me in that 5 years of times when the growth is coming, when things are hard. Oh, I know that God is there. I know the purpose of his being. But even as Jesus knew the purpose of the cross, did he not say to the Father, can we do something else other than this? So, I'm not like you yet. You've arrived. I thank God for you, but I ask you to pray for me that I can get there. You understand? So, you should be able to recognize the spans of your life. When the changes comes, when you must walk in the absolute of God. When things around you don't seem to be working. That's what happened. The earth was chaos. The earth was without form and void. Nothing was alive upon the earth. But yet, in the dead state of the earth, life was covering it. Amen. Come on. In the dead state of the earth, when everything was void and without form, the Spirit of the Lord moved over it. So no matter how tough it is in your life, no matter how tough things may go, no matter how dead and dry it may look, the Spirit of the Lord God is still hoovering over it. You understand? Why is he hoovering over it? Because in that darkness is light. In that dead, dry season is life like you've never seen before. But it is there laying dormant until the God of all glory begin to speak for your life. And when he starts to speak, you must understand, he's not calling from out there what you need in here. He looks on the inside of you and calls other people who's already there. And then it becomes. Oh, you are the beginning of God's end. You cannot fail if you walk according to his plan. You cannot fail unless you give up. You have to make your mind up. In Genesis 1, verses 3 to 25, we hear the thundering voice of the heavens being given to God, from God. Everywhere he's intended for it. From the beginning he began to place things. And God said and it was. And God said and it was. And God said and it was. In your life, no matter what it look like, no matter how dark it may seem, no matter how dead the situation is, because the Spirit of the Lord God is hovering over you, there is life there. And then God began to say, when you hear God saying all the time, you set your heart for new life to begun. And what is in you comes out of you. The trees are not called from a distance. The trees are called from the earth. The waters did not call from the distance. They were separated. Now they understand why they were there. They understand why there was a separation. Sometimes things are in your life that are together that should not be there. Sometimes the left hand is not supposed to know what the right hand is doing. Sometimes you should be in a place where you should be, but you are not. And sometimes things are in your life should not be there. And God began to speak, and the Spirit of God began to move, and in the spans of your life things began to work out, and then you find out all of a sudden it's all over. God has delivered you in the midst of the singing, that's when faith grows.
Yes, he will. Bless the Lord Jesus.
Are you hearing what I'm saying to you?
Glory, glory, hallelujah, hallelujah.
This kind of thing has to be real.
Amen. Yes.
It's real on the inside.
Uh-huh.
God began to speak and God began to give orders.
Yes.
And at the end of verse 25, you read, and he looked out over the earth, and everything was good. As a matter of fact, everything was very good. But there was a problem still, because in the midst of this very good thing, there was no one to take care of it.
Bless the Lord.
God, will help me, Lord. In the midst of all of this speaking, in the midst of putting everything in order,
Yes.
your God was not doing this because he had the power to do it. Your God was doing this because he was preparing a place for you.
Amen. Oh, yes. Thank you, Jesus. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
You read about the earth and all of that stuff.
Thank you, Jesus.
But you also read that the earth was void and without form. And then God put everything in place. You understand? God spoke. Listen to me, family. The word chaos, the world was in chaos. The word chaos means that everything you need is there. It's just out of position. Some of your minds are in chaos. Some of your lives are in chaos.
Amen.
You need to get it in order.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Bless the Lord Jesus.
You don't need nothing new. You just need order. I hear what I'm saying. When you look at what Jesus did, what did he make new? In the Bible he says, "Behold, I'm coming and I'll make all things new." But what did he do new? God did to the earth what was there before. Oh man. Holy Spirit, I need your help. Everything God wanted to be on the earth was already in the earth. It was already absolutely fully established. It was out of place, and the things in it was out of place. The earth was still in position. The things in the earth were out of place. The plan of God that he had for the beginning of the earth before it became void and without form was disrupted by disobedience. So God in his love and in his mercy decided, okay, I'm going to fix it up, but this time I'm going to fix it up for somebody just like me. Come on, man. He said, I'm going to fix this thing up for somebody just like me. They're going to be so much like me, I'm going to give them full authority.
Amen. Amen.
I'm going to trust them. I'm going to give them everything that's in me, and I will leave them to make and bring to this place called earth what I have here in heaven. Because they are as I am, I expect them to do so.
Amen.
Come on, man.
Hallelujah. Thank the Lord.
You got enough in you to create an earth. Y'all let me believe that. Your tongue is already right there. Power and life is in your tongue.
Amen.
You hear what I'm saying?
Amen.
And though the God of glory, he looked down and he said, it was very good, but there was still a problem. There was nobody to care for this earth. Look in Genesis chapter 1. You need to write these down. If I try to wait for it to get to them, we're not going to get there. From the thundering blast, our maker, our creator, our redeemer knew that since everything was in the earth, everything was pure, everything was beautiful, and he, God himself, wanted to always come to the earth. But you see, if God show up in certain places sometimes, destructions will happen. Y'all have a problem with this one. The Bible tells you when Jesus, every time God showed on the mountain, there was disruption. Lightning and thunder and storm began to blast, and people could not understand. So God has to find a place where he can show up in such simplicity. All you do is see and talk. So upon this new earth that he made, he placed a garden called Eden, a place where God can abide. That's what Eden means. And in Eden, it was a bedroom for God, where he can visit his creation at all times. The modern English says, find you a secret place. Find you a prayer place. Find you a place where you can talk to God one-on-one, where he'll show up. Well, God always showed up in the Garden of Eden. He showed up in the Garden of Eden. Why? Because that's where he always expected to meet Adam and Eve, to have a conversation with them, to make sure that all is going well, to assure them that everything is good, for Adam to make a report about the purpose and plan for his being, to talk to God about all the goodness. Adam never talked about the negative things to God. He always talked about the good. The only time you heard about Adam talking to God about the negativism, when he went short and he felt the disobedience and rebellion, and when God showed him he was ashamed of himself, he realized through the eyes of Satan he was no longer nothing, but even in the eyes of God he was loved.
Yes. Amen. Yes.
And he began to hide. Why do people run and hide when they messed up before God? That's what I like about David. When David messed up, David went running to God. He never ran from God. That is because of relationship. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Amen.
Relationship. And many people miss this relationship. Genesis 1, verse 26-28 says, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over the cattle, over the earth, over every creeping thing that's on the earth. Listen to it. Let them have dominion. For us, in our image, exactly as we are, and I like this, the same way of thinking. Isn't it amazing that God created us to think like him? How can two walk together unless they be in agreement? If God and I are supposed to walk together as one, then our language should be the same.
That's right.
Our minds should be the same. You know, when you first go to school and your teacher is teaching whatever it is, math, English, whatever the circumstance it is, you just don't understand. Why? Because your minds are not on the same level. But if you hang with it long enough and your teacher began to use these words and use these figures and use these numbers, this conversation becomes a conversation. Why? Because you're thinking as the teacher is thinking, corresponding, and you're standing strongly in the conversation, knowing that you clearly and freely absolutely understand. In the body of Christ, that's called prayer. If you're not praying, you have no conversation with God. No conversation with God, no comprehension. No comprehension, no relationship. No relationship, you're in the cold.
Jesus, that's Lord Jesus. Got to have that.
You hear what I'm saying?
Amen.
Yeah.
God look out and say, look, let us make man in our image and our likeness. Let us give them dominion. Isn't it amazing? He give them dominion over all the creeps, over everything that is there. And yet, instead of us taking dominion over them, they take dominion over us, and we try to take dominion over one another. God never tell human being to have dominion over another human being.
That's right.
You know how many relationships are destroyed and being destroyed because one want to have dominion over the other? There was nowhere in the Bible where God says you're supposed to have dominion. The word rule means that there's a set bracket and the set laws that's in place that will be set there, that God has laid that it cannot be changed. The word it's a covering, is a covering on the head. It means that it's like the building here has a covering called a roof. That roof is not the boss of this building. That roof goes in built to protect things from coming in. The purpose of a man or a woman is the headship to protect the things from getting to her. But at the same time, the purpose of the woman's like these walls is holding up the roof. If this wall falls down, the whole roof comes to nothing. So how this one will think is better than that one, and this one is trying to make that one this one, and this one trying to make that one this one, and you hear the confusion? Because God did not arrange it like that.
Amen.
What if we all stay in position as God commanded? Wouldn't life be wonderful?
Yes. Bless, Lord Jesus. Bless.
The earth was watered out, form, God began to speak, and when God began to speak, everything came in place. And when everything came in place, God said everything was good. It was very good. But yet his main objective and the main person he wanted was not there yet. God picked from that good thing and put a man there. But yet out of this good thing came something more greater than the good thing. That which is very good now has something created from it, designed from it, to help the very good thing become what God intended it to be. And therefore that good thing is an excellent thing. How come the very good thing abuse the excellent thing, and the excellent thing they can make without a good thing? Because you came from the very good thing to become an excellent thing. You need the very good thing to stay excellent. Excellent need you to stay very good. You fools, why are you running from each other? How can you make it in the earth without God? Because everything that you need comes from the source to which you should stay attached. And when God wanted himself, he spoke to you, and out you came with the image of who he is, his likeness being the same. And when you were walking according to that, you walk in the in the span of his likeness and in the veins of his creation, and his blood that flows will flow through you. The conversation that he has will always be the same as yours, and that which he's given to you will be manifested. In the midst of the manifestation comes the joy, and his joy is fulfilling your joy. That's why God trusts you so much, and you are the drawing factor, because your well-being is his comfort. Happy Resurrection Day. Everybody talk about the Resurrection Day, but they don't know where it came from. The resurrection begins from where I'm telling you.
Amen.
They hear what I'm telling you. Everybody still have all of these crosses and stuff. The cross is good. I don't ignore the cross. The cross is where Jesus came to get me to where I am today. But why are you worshiping it?
All right.
I know. It's contrary to what you've been taught. All these people wearing this cross around their neck. If I were God, I'd be insulted. That's the most brutal thing, my son, to go on, and you wearing it around as a trophy. Believe that one alone. Let's see your minds. Amen.
Amen.
So God began to form things. He said, look here, you be fruitful. After God created you, God created you with increase in mind. You understand? God didn't create you to try anything. God created you to fulfill what he had completed over you. You have on a farm these watering holes that has to go. So you come up the mountain and you pump the water. Over there is everything completed. You understand? And the purpose of the water is to join it. So the purpose, this is you. God has already spoken you, because he's already completed over there. It's in a place unseen. It's not been manifested yet, because it's not the time and season for it. But it's there because the earth's inhabitants will need it one day. And when the day comes and the season arrives, he called you here. And he says you need to go there and give it life. That means you leave him here at the appropriate time when years go by. Hardship goes by. Difficulty goes by. This one goes by. But you keep on walking, because when you get here, it's called success. Let me explain something to you. Until you are absolutely rejected, you will never ever be accepted. And nobody likes a loser, but everybody likes a winner. You were born for success. That's why you don't pay attention to what people are saying about you when you first started. It's the ending of your journey that makes the difference.
Right.
Because the ending of your journey is the comfort of their life.
Amen. Amen.
Bless, Lord Jesus. Bless.
I have always been amazed. I thought about it. I thought about the soldier that said he's the Son of God. This is the same soldier that drove the spike in his hand. This is the same soldier that was crucifying his deliverer. This is the same soldier that he was killing,
Yes.
but had his life in it. This is the same soldier that was functioning in ignorance. He did not know, but was led by the wrong people, the wrong thoughts, the wrong mind. The battleground of the enemy is your mind. You are where you are because you're battling. You are fighting against life.
Bless, Lord Jesus. Amen.
And you don't even know why. Are you hearing what I'm saying? When you get there, that's what Malachi said, I will make you out of blessing. See, people often think of money. When God said, I will make you out of blessing, he wasn't just talking about what gifts God was going to give to him. He was talking about the awesomeness of who you are, and the knowledge of your relationship with God will be so intense, so great, that everybody wants you to come and tell them of who God is in your life. And you cannot receive all the invitations. I will make you out of blessing. You don't have room to receive. So some you got to turn down.
That's right.
But people only think money. Why not think gift? Huh? The Bible says your gift may room for you. He's not necessarily talking about